Hello, and welcome to the first Nirsa Region 1 Student Professional Development broadcast for 2016. I'm your host, Kevin George, coming to you from Rowan University. Thanks to those that are watching this live. Share with your coworkers and colleagues that this broadcast is available on the Nirsa Region 1 YouTube channel to view later. A big thank you to Zach Watson, Sarah Chauvelin, and Pat Shank for helping today's events. Today we're discussing the value of mentorship in navigating a career in campus recreation. During the broadcast, you can tweet at Nirsa Region1 any questions to Region 1 student leader Pat Shank to ask our panel. We're very happy to have 5 students and professionals talk about their mentor and mentee relationships. First of all, I would like to introduce the first set of individuals and their current mentor and mentee relationship. Gina?
Hi, I'm Gina Palermo, and I'm the Graduate Assistant of Intramurals at Westchester University, and I'm currently Pete Vinson's mentee.
Hi, I'm Pete Vinson, and I'm the coordinator for Intramurals Recreation and Student Life at Delaware Valley University, and I serve as Gina's mentor and currently mentored by Craig LeDuc.
Hi, I'm Craig LeDuc, and I'm the Assistant Director of Campus Recreation at Stevenson University, and I currently serve as Pete's mentor.
Hi everyone, I'm Elvis Lizardo, and I'm the Intramural Sports Head Supervisor at the University of Vermont, and I'm currently Jordan Olson's mentee.
Hi everybody, Jordan Olson, Assistant Director of Intramural Sports at the University of Vermont, and I serve as Elvis Lizardo's mentor.
Great, thank you everybody. First of all, we're gonna start with Craig. Craig, tell me about your mentoring relationship and how that was developed with Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, I kind of lucked out. I had started in Westchester in January 2012, and I believe Pete was a junior at the time. Fortunately for me, Pete really cared about the program and wanted to see it get better. So it really started with him kind of educating me about Westchester and things like that. And it started with the trust then and there. From there, it kind of developed a little bit more into just kind of having those basic conversations about being a better official, what can we do better to make the program better. And eventually just progressed through the years. He became a student supervisor and then later a grad assistant. And those conversations obviously got more and more deeper each year and not just at the basic level of officiating.
Great, thank you. So Pete, tell me about your relationship and how, when you started with Craig, how often do you communicate with him and how does that work with you providing guidance?
So Craig and I, we had like he said, had a great relationship. But one thing he allowed me to do is really grow. And he allowed me to make decisions for myself and really go out and try to do things and stick with my decisions. And I kind of try to use that well while I mentor Gina now. So I kind of mentor her the same way, just making sure that she can make decisions on her own and trusting her decisions.
Great. Gina, can you talk about how your relationship has changed to when you first started to now, since Pete no longer works at Westchester University?
Sure. When I first started working for Intramurals, I didn't really have a connection with Pete. He was kind of one that I just knew oversaw me. But, over the past year and a half, he became someone I could count on as a friend and also as a colleague. So he's been with me, through a lot as a first-year GA. He's always helped me out. And it's nice to know, he's always there and that our relationship got a lot stronger.
All right, Elvis, so tell me about your relationship and how have you utilized Jordan as your mentor to progress your career goals?
Yeah, so throughout my time here with Jordan, I feel like it's been very easy to use or to have Jordan as a resource, just because we both started out in undergrad interested in intramural sports and in the profession. He shared his journey with me every single step of the way, and I definitely see him as a role model, someone that I can emulate at times. Also, last year at the annual conference, I got to meet many of his networks from Region 3, and that was a pretty cool experience, seeing how close he was to his people back in Region 3, and seeing how everyone supports each other. And he's definitely been supporting me so far in my young career. Another thing that got us very close was last year we officiated high school basketball together. And I joke around with him and say that I used him for his rides. But no seriousness, during those rides, those 10 games we did together, we did get really close, and we spoke about more than just officiating. And that's definitely a way that we've gone close and talking about my career goals in the future.
Thank you so much, Elvis. That's great that you were talking about your personal experiences as well as your professional experiences, and having those opportunities to referee with Jordan really helped you. So Jordan, tell me about what motivates you to provide guidance and feedback to Elvis as his mentor.
Yeah, so naturally, one of my passions is student development as a whole. So I think it comes easy for me to be invested, especially in a student like Elvis, where he's very passionate about campus recreation and officiating. So we have a lot of similar interests that, like Elvis said, we had from day one. So, I'm also really motivated to see the personal accomplishments that Elvis makes throughout his career. Elvis was an All-American official last year. I got to go with him to a regional tournament and kind of see his performance out there on the field. And, Elvis, earned all of that on his own, but just to think that I have a small impact in his accomplishments, is really motivating for me.
Great. Thank you so much, Jordan and Elvis, for talking about your relationship. We're going to move over to Craig, back to Craig. So, Craig, since you started your relationship with Pete at Westchester, how often do you get to provide guidance and communication for him now that you both serve as professionals at different colleges throughout the year?
Yeah, so I mean, the unfortunate honest answer here is not as much as we should communicate with each other. It's kind of turned in one of those relationships now where one of us has a question, we'll start asking and then kind of finish like, oh, but how are things going? So, I think that's where, as you become a professional and start moving up the ranks in rec, it becomes more and more important to try and catch up at conferences. I know we preach to students that these are networking events, which they are. But I think for professionals, it's kind of, networking with some of our mentors, as well as, catching up or reconnecting with our mentees. I think now, since we're both at very different universities, we try to help each other out as much as possible where we can. But I think, once you get into the professional scheme of things, the way things are handled, the policies at different universities, previously being at Westchester, being a state university, and now being at a private institution, it's a total different ballpark. But, again, we do have those conversations, even if it's just a short email of catching up with each other.
Great. Thank you so much, Craig. We're going to move on to Pete. And Pete, can you tell me what qualities do you think a good mentee has that makes the relationship meaningful and valuable? So maybe your relationship with Gina and what qualities that she has that makes a good mentee.
Yes. So the three qualities that I think make a great mentee is you have to be dedicated. I think one thing about recreation that I've learned as a mentor now and a mentee, that you have to be dedicated. You have to put in the time. You have to be, which my next one would be, reliable. I think being reliable really allows that person who's mentoring you to be trusted, so you can have that relationship with them. And then with our field, you have to be very adaptable. Things come up, things you may have to adjust on the fly. So being adaptable, I think, is definitely one of the three qualities. And that's why I think dedication and reliable and adaptability is very important.
Great. Thank you, Pete. So Elvis, back to you. I'm sorry, Gina, can you describe a situation where you've taken your mentor's advice and put it into action?
Sure. So just as the three qualities Pete said, I basically take those qualities every day and just apply them to work, just because he did such a great job running the intramural program from when I saw him over the past year and a half overrun it. And one of the main things I think is adaptable, because intramurals is always changing. You might have rain dates. You could have waitlist teams, just things that go along with intramurals. You always have to kind of, be on your feet and be dedicated to make everyone happy and have a smooth working environment.
All right, great. Thank you, Gina. We're going to move on over back to Elvis. Elvis, can you talk about how you shared your short and long-term goals with your mentor, and what sort of feedback have you received to guide you in these goals?
Absolutely. So yeah, Jordan definitely knows my short-term and long-term goals. He's been a big support ever since I met him. He's been interested in knowing what it is that I want to do when I grow up. Next year, I'll be looking for a GA or an internship. And he's been geared up to help me out in the interview process and the application process ever since he found out that I do want to go into this profession. As far as my officiating goals go, he's very passionate, just like I am. He's always sticking out for me, whether it is to find the budget in the for campus recreation, to get me to regionals or nationals. That's always really helpful. Or whether it is that we're talking about officiating his office. Most days during the week, you will see me in his office talking about officiating or about a GA-ship or about any job postings that I see online. And he's definitely been a big help so far. Like I said earlier, we do have similar goals long-term, I feel like. So he's been a great person to talk to every single day about our aspirations.
Great, thank you, Elvis. Jordan, can you talk about maybe, do you have multiple mentees? And if so, how do you balance the time needed to have a meaningful relationship with all those individuals?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely have a lot of different mentees. Some of those are here at UVM, all of the students that currently work for me. It's, I think, really easy for me to have a natural connection with a lot of the supervisors and people that I spend a lot of time with. So I intentionally try to get out to the fields and have interactions with the officials and scorekeepers that I don't get to spend as much time with. I also have different types of mentees. Now I have some people that have worked with me in the past as interns that are in different regions of the country. So now some of those people are not in the field anymore either. Last year, one of my intern, Alex Start, is now at BombTech Golf, and he's a sales representative. And I find myself calling, texting him, touching base with him, and seeing what's going on with him professionally, how he's navigating his first couple of months on that job. And then I think just a couple other things about staying in touch is just finding relevant times to stay in touch. If you know that somebody's a fan of the Patriots and they won 27-0 last night, you can reach out to them and just find a quick minute to stay in touch.
Wow, well, you're going to really make Craig happy because he's a huge Patriots fan. So Craig, we're going to move back to you. Craig, what motivates you to serve as a mentor?
Well, obviously seeing the Patriots win is always motivating, but no, I don't know if motivating is the right word. I was fortunate enough throughout my entire career as a student and now as a professional to have some really great mentors myself. Names like Dave Peters, Peter Murray, John Blehar. And they kind of instilled to me the importance of either passing the buck or just passing that torch on. And even now talking to all of you and seeing that my conversations with Pete have kind of done that with him and Gina, and you see that trickle down effect of all those individuals that you have those relationships with and things like that. It's definitely exciting, and I know I'm definitely really looking forward to catching up with all of them, at least at the Region 1 conference.
Great, thank you so much, Craig. And I think part of Nirsa is that we have the values and really student relationships and student development, like I believe Pete had mentioned earlier. So Pete, why is it important for you to be honest with your mentee, even if that advice may be hard to take?
Kevin, I think that's a really great question. But I think that it's really important just because you need to be able to kind of have a relationship, that respect. I think it really shows a level of respect if you're able to be honest with your mentee. One thing that I try to do with Gina is if there's something that I'm going to say to her that I'm not sure how she may take, I usually start with, do you want me to lie to you or do you want me to tell you the truth? Most of the time she wants to hear the truth. So it's just one of those ways of kind of breaking the ice for a situation where we may have a question, I have to give her an answer that she may not like, but it's the truth. And I think that's helped to build our relationship. And I think that's what I try to give her daily, just that respect.
Great. Gina, now that you serve as a Nirsa State student leader, have you had any opportunities to serve as a mentor?
So I can't say that I had a specific person that I've mentored, but I like to look at all my staff as my mentees. I always want to be a good example for them. And I kind of want to be how Pete was to me, just someone you look up to and, someone that makes you really love the field of recreation. So I just hope, they look at me as the same way I was able to look at Pete.
Great, thanks. Back to you, Elvis. Can you just tell me about how do you feel your experiences would have been different had you not utilized your relationship and guidance from Jordan?
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to say that I've been very fortunate at UVM to have two bosses who are very involved in NIRSA. 2 years ago when we were hiring for Jordan's position, really all I wanted was someone who loved officiating and someone who would allow me to be more involved in NIRSA. And Jordan has been exactly that. I think without someone very passionate like Jordan about NIRSA, I may not have been so involved like I am today. Of course, our relationship is not just about NIRSA. Jordan is someone who is honest to me. He's definitely had some difficult conversations with me when he knows that I have to step it up, or he gives me advice, things that I may need to do better to be a good professional in this field. That's always something that I appreciate a lot. He's not afraid to be uncomfortable with me talking about something that I need to do better, and I really appreciate that.
Great, thank you so much. I really appreciate that response. I think, Jordan, with when Elvis graduates, how do you think you'll transition your mentoring role with him, whether he goes on for an internship or a graduate assistantship?
Yeah, I think some of the things that have been mentioned already, and I mentioned before, I'll just make sure to stay in touch with Elvis at certain points in time where I know, there's things going on his first day on the job, next time, or if I know he's reaching a new point in his officiating career, or, applying for a NIRSA opportunity, something like that, reach out to him, make sure he knows that I'm a support for him, no matter what he's doing at that point in time, and just be there throughout his process, wherever that goes in his career. So.
Great. Thank you so much. And when we think about some of the mentorship and mentee opportunities that we have, I know NIRSA provides a lot of those opportunities, and it's important that in your campus recreation program, as Gina said, it kind of naturally happens that we're supervising students, and that it's important that we want to focus on mentoring those that are wanting to go through NIRSA. But as I guess Jordan had said, is that it's important to also keep in touch with those that don't stay in the field of campus recreation, because you have developed relationships with them, and we do want to support them in their career goals, even if it's not involving collegiate recreation. But thank you so much. It looks like we do have a tweet from our regional leader, Pat Shank. So it looks like that we do have a tweet that came in. So I'm going to ask this to one of the panelists. So why don't we go back to Craig? Craig, what is the difference between a mentor and a coach?
So I'm seeing that come in from Earl myself, and I don't know if there's much of a difference. I think obviously you're not as focused on wins and losses in the professional world, but I think again, both mentors and coaches, you want to give feedback that's both positive and also critical. I think you want to see your mentees succeed, but also I personally don't mind if they fail, as long as it's something that's not going to be detrimental to their career. I think it's important to kind of know when you make mistakes and learn from those moving forward. So I really just don't see there being a ton of difference between being a mentor and a coach.
Great, thank you, Craig, and really appreciate that response. I think we're going to kick it back over to Jordan, and we'll put him on the spot. So Jordan, kind of tell me how you would navigate. So if Elvis gets some opportunities for GA positions or internships, but so they may be on different timelines, and he comes up to you and says, Jordan, I have this offer, tell me what to do. And that's what Elvis wants, to put the ball in your court and have you make the decision for him. So he's got this awesome GA opportunity, but even when he's still seeking, and the timeline may be a couple weeks later, he says, tell me what to do. How would you respond to Elvis?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've personally been in those shoes before, both when I was applying for graduate assistantships and in my first professional job. I think you just sit down, you make a checklist for yourself, or you assess what you like about each of those jobs or those positions, that location, and you kind of just have to go with what feels right in your gut. If you know that the one program that you have an offer from on the table feels right to you, you have the right mentor, it's in the right place, you're going to be happy with that. I would say that go for that if that's what makes you happy. But at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with the decision that you're going to make.
Great. Thank you so much for the response. I know a lot of the times as mentors, we want to make sure we give them the resources and tools to make decisions on what's important to them. It's important also too that sometimes they want to go with their gut and let them know that it's important that to go with your heart and your brain. And thank you so much for that. We're going to move over to Pat, our regional student leader for Region 1. So tell me about how opportunities in working in the student leadership team has created opportunities for you to be a mentor or a mentee in your position.
Well, firsthand, I can point to Gina here, who also works at Westchester, and she kind of saw what I was doing last year, being elected to this position and seeing the role that I was taking within Nirsa, and she said that she wanted to get involved. So she became the PERSA student leader here for Pennsylvania. So I've helped her out with that, and really I've just been showing her more ways to get involved, going to conferences, anything with scholarships, things like that. So I've really been able to play the mentor role in that sense. And also just some of the other state student leaders that are in Region 1, I've been able to help them, whether they're looking to come into this position next year if they're applying for it, or just helping them out, again, with anything Nirsa related, whether it's with the conference or they're just kind of confused what's going on and want to get more involved. So I've really been able to help out in that role. But I'd say a lot more of it has been when I've been being mentored, and it hasn't necessarily been one single person. Earl's definitely helped me out a lot. He's guided me so much in this position and really helped me get where I am today in my role. So shout out to him. And then, I have my supervisors here between Bryn and Dr. Gambino and all my former supervisors at Temple, but it's really the people from this position that are like you, Kev, or Zach, or Sarah Shovelin, or Vicky High Street. These people that they kind of just show me how to do things that I necessarily don't think about all the time, like something like this, like a broadcast. Really just getting more familiar, more involved, meeting more people. So it's just given me a ton of resources that I know I can reach out to these people, and they're always willing to help me. So it's really helped in that sense that I've just grown my network more, and I have more people that I can reach out to if I need help.
Great, thanks so much, Pat. And it's really important for us to realize that as mentors that there are numerous opportunities for student leadership opportunities within Nirsa, and making sure that you encourage them to get outside their comfort zone, take on a leadership position, and maybe also like consider taking on a position that may be bigger than just their institution. So I thank you, Pat, for serving, and Gina serving those roles. We do have some great state leaders, regional leaders, and some national leaders or Nirsa leaders. We want to make sure we know they spend a lot of time outside of their work to provide these opportunities to mentor and lead individuals. So we have a couple more questions coming in. Let me see. We'll see who we're going to give those to. So we have one from Scott Flickinger. So why don't we throw this over to Pete? Pete, why don't we ask you, what style of mentoring have you found to be the most successful with your mentees?
Wow, that's really a great question. So the style that I try to use is that I'm always approachable. I think that's very important for anybody. So whether it's a first-year supervisor, whether it's a first-year official, I want them to know that they can come to me at any time. I think that will make the relationship grow, and then that way they can ask for feedback and anything. So I think that's the type of leadership style that I kind of use with a lot of the people, whether my staff or just people in general. I try to always be approachable and make sure that they're able to approach me with any type of question. So just personable.
Great. And then I think I'm going to throw this over to Jordan. So we have another question that came in from Jennifer De La Rosa, and she is one of our state leaders. What is the best way to encourage students to seek out a mentor relationship, especially for those individuals that are shy or new to the idea that they may not be the most outgoing individuals seeking mentors, but they may be the ones that need them the most?
Yeah, I think that mentorship and mentee-mentor relationships form in a lot of different ways. And I think that being able to find somebody in the field that you identify with, having similar career goals or coming up, through a similar path, and being able to reach out to them, whether that's networking at a conference or sending somebody an email asking for a piece of advice, and just getting the ball rolling on a relationship was a great way to get started. And yeah, I think there's multiple different ways to get that done.
Great, thank you. And thank you for those that have tweeted in the questions. Pat has been taking all those tweets in. I do want to make sure that we do let students know that you can nominate professionals for the Horace Moody Award. Each region does recognize professionals that exemplify encouraging student development and mentorship, and making sure that you look at the timelines through NERSA to recognize those individual award winners. I also want to make sure that people are aware of that there are 3 opportunities for scholarships. So for students that maybe are trying to find a mentor and navigate if they want to go through the NERSA for possible opportunities in the career, that there are 3 opportunities for scholarships. There's the Region 1 contingency scholarships available, as well as the NERSA travel stipend and the NERSA Foundation scholarship. So please make sure that you as professionals or students share that information. We'd love to have some great applicants. Not only is there a financial benefit for those scholarships, it is also considered an award where you shows your accomplishments to represent yourself and your institution. So we do want to make sure to let individuals know about that opportunity. I can't thank the panel enough about spending their time with us on a Friday to share about their relationships and how it's been valuable for both parties. I'm sure our panel of students and professionals will continue to keep their mentoring roles and mentee roles going, as well as developing new ones. And as Jordan had said, sometimes navigating and making time for all the individuals that you are mentoring, it's very important that it's a dual relationship, but it's great having the mentor reach out to those individuals. Just a friendly reminder that the early bird deadline for the NERSA Region 1 conference in Lancaster, PA is on Monday, October 3rd. So take advantage of the discount. Make sure you find any opportunities that you can financially to get assistance from your university or through the NERSA to go to that conference. There will be some great opportunities for mentoring in that. During the student lead-on, there's also a great opportunity for new students and seasoned NERSA students and graduate assistantships to be involved in the mentor-mentee program. I'm going to finish it up with Pat. So Pat, why don't you talk about the advantages of the NERSA mentor-mentee program and why students and professionals should be signed up for that, as well as talking about our next broadcast.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, do you remember what day we had set for our next broadcast? I don't have it right in front of me.
I'm sorry, yeah, it's going to be our next student professional broadcast is going to be after the conference on Friday, November the 4th. So we're going to discuss the highlights, takeaways, and implementing ideas from the Region 1 conference. So we want to make sure that the next broadcast will be the same time on Friday, November 4th at 11 a.m.
Yep, so we'll be having, this is our first of 4 that we'll be doing throughout the school year. So as Kevin said, the next one will be right after the Region 1 conference. So we'll be recapping everything that went on there, any big news that went on, any award winners, things like that, just to give anyone who couldn't attend a better idea of what happened at this Region 1 conference in Lancaster. As Kevin mentioned, early bird special ends soon, and just get in there, sign up, register, and get your hotel. Get it done with so you don't have to worry about it. Don't wait till the last minute. As far as the mentorship program, I am currently signed up in it. Shout out to Sean Feen up in Long Island. He is my mentor. So I chatted with him last month, and we kind of got to know each other a little bit better, and things have been going well so far. So it's a really great program, especially if you're at a university that maybe you don't have that solid mentor or anything like that. You're kind of on your own, or even if you do, it's just great to have more resources to reach out to. So I encourage you all to sign up. That's both to students and professionals. If you're a professional and you just really like being a mentor to people, I encourage you to sign up because we're always in need of mentors. And if you're a student, sign up because, again, more resources for you.
Great, thank you, Pat. And to finish up for today, just a friendly reminder, go to the Nirsa website to sign up for the Mentor-Mentee program. Even as young professionals, you can still sign up for a mentee. Last year, I had the opportunity to be a mentor for Eric Wojo. We still continue to communicate. So it's not, if you're looking for a mentee or looking for a mentor, please go to the Nirsa website and sign up for the Mentor-Mentee program. And you'll actually get a few emails from the Nirsa Triple Play emails, which kind of give some guidance and some opportunities of videos and resources that could help foster discussions for your mentor-mentee relationship. So I do want to thank especially Pat and Earl for their leadership for Region 1. And also for those individuals on this student professional development work team, Zach Watson, Sarah Chauvelin, Pat Shank. So thank you so much for all your hard work, and we're really looking forward to putting the next November broadcast ready to go. Thank you so much to Craig and Gina, Elvis, Jordan, and Pete for taking your time on this Friday again to help us with this broadcast. And just so everybody knows that you can go to the Nirsa Region 1 YouTube channel to watch this after it's been aired. So great, have a happy Friday, and we'll see you all in Lancaster.